share a lot of gifts, not just we have gifts coming in and out and all. And some of us don't really have the time of, unwrapping or unboxing what we are giving. So we keep it aside. And then the day is set aside specially to unbox. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe you're going to unbox your gift today.
Unbox your gift and also
Let's know what is there so we share.
Well, we'll learn more about what Boxing Day is about in our next. Okay. So people, let's go on this very short break. When we come back, we'll be meeting our first guest, and of course, we'll be talking about the essence of this season. We're still in the spirit of the celebration for the season. Don't go.
A brand new sunrise is about to brighten your mornings. Wake up to Good Morning Port Harcourt, your fresh, vibrant and inspiring daily companion.
From the heart of the Garden City, we bring you stories that matter.
From politics to news headlines, sports, entertainment, lifestyle, and community happenings.
And all the information you need to start your day. It's all coming your way from Mondays to Fridays, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Whether you're at home, at work, or on the move, make it go.
Only on NTA Channel 10, Port Harcourt.
So don't just wake up. Wake up with us.
Good morning, Port Harcourt. All right, welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the program is Good Morning Port Harcourt. Coming to you from the Student TV Port Harcourt. Now, to take us further on our conversation, today we have a guest that is joining us. He is a pastor, he's a doctor, and talking about Pastor Doctor Israel. Okay, sir, so let's start. Yesterday was Christmas and we know your
Christians, especially the Pentecostals, we believe that since we celebrate our birthdays as human and we have a master, there is that need for us to celebrate the birthday of our master in honor of him for what he has done for us. I know he's done a lot of things for us, but the basic thing that our primary thing, of course, he has done for us, Jesus, is to bring us salvation. And whatever man is looking for on planet Earth, no matter what it is all enshrined or embedded in two basic things. One, spiritual, two, physical. Salvation is from the Greek word sozo, meaning deliverance from sin and deliverance from sickness. Of course, you know that that's what people want to be delivered from on planet Earth. So anything you are looking for, a border around these two things: sin, sickness. So Jesus came to deliver us from sin and from sickness. It could be physical sickness, it could be psychological sickness, it could be relational sickness, it could be academic sickness, like those that would always have carryovers and all that. When we talk about salvation and people tend to push it to church people, I think it's just a display of their level of what salvation is. Salvation is all encompassing, and every human, no matter your class, no matter the field you're in, no matter your race, salvation is key. Especially when you come to understand that, it has to do with deliverance from sin and sickness. So for me, Christmas is a season that we have looked at as very important because of the importance of what Jesus has done in our lives for us. I also know that those that have not been saved, it won't mean anything to them at all. And you don't need to blame them. Because what you don't have, you can give. That's right.
Just to pop in.
Yes.
While we talk about the celebration of Christmas, but now today's Boxing Day, and many people have so many different understanding of Boxing Day. Top on the list of Boxing Day, people always think is to go and start maybe boxing, fighting each other, like that. Just give us an in-depth understanding.
Okay, Boxing Day for me in the past we didn't include the second week I used to think that Boxing Day is a day that people should go and be watching boxing in the cinema or in telly to commemorate that the boxing was introduced. But recently I came to know that Boxing Day is far beyond that. It has to do with a day where we need to unbox our contents, the contents of our bowels, where we have mercy, kindness, and goodness, even favor. It is a day where we unbox even the works of our hands, the fruits of our labors that we have gathered for ourselves through the year. And there is need for us to share with those that may have planted, but their harvests were lean, not plenteous. So when you unbox what you gathered for the year, or you unbox the bowels, of mercy, favor, kindness, and all of that, you wouldn't know who you would have affected his life. To you, what you may have even unboxed may be little, and it may not even mean much, but you have saved somebody from sorrow, from 10 months, 11 months, tears, and feeling of abandonment and rejection. So for me, Boxing Day is a very important day that we all should key into and unbox what we have to put smiles on the faces of other people.
Indeed, indeed, Boxing Day is very significant and interesting day, I would say. I tried to research on Boxing Day and I realized that there's no particular definite, origin of how it started. But somehow, some group of persons may have maybe ignited it. But there are, let me say, histories of it coming from Australia, Europe, and but we have adopted this culture, which means it's what we also celebrate here in Nigeria. No wonder after the Christmas celebration, which was just yesterday, we have the Boxing Day, which is also a public holiday and coincides with my own birthday. So that's why I say it's very significant to me. And in my own little way, I would say Christmas is associated with giving. It's associated with love. And what am I trying to say? A lot of people exchange gifts during the Christmas festivities. But somehow, because of other lineup of activities that takes place, like we need to celebrate, jubilate, we have people singing, dancing, some people go to carnivals and all that. You may not really have that time to settle down, to say, oh, this is what was presented to me. So it was now generally accepted in the world over that the following day should be added as part of that celebration so that people now settle down to unbox. So unbox and, So why am I trying to say this? Christmas festivities has to do with giving. And not everybody sees it necessary to be charitable. But there's no how you can celebrate Christmas without the act of giving. So, sir, please, I would like you to share your thoughts on the importance of giving during this season. Because without giving, of course, there will be no boxing day.
Sure. Thank you. The concept of giving in relation to Christmas celebration is significant. The reason is because of the basis of Christmas. The basis is, like I said, God gave His Son to the world to die for the world so that their sins and sicknesses, sorrow, poverty, all of those will be taken care of. Now, if Christmas, as we call it, as we tie it to the celebration of the birthday of Christ, if Christ being born brought about salvation to humankind, it is important that if Christmas will be enjoyed, will actually depict what is meant to depict. Giving should be central. Giving should be at the heart of that celebration. So, for me, anybody that is not giving out one thing or the other, whether your time, your patience, your tolerance, because I know that we limit the giving in Christmas to money and rice, but it's important that we should go beyond that. Give out forgiveness. If you've not even forgiven somebody that has wronged you for a long time, on Christmas Day, you can just make it a jubilee day and forgive the person. You've given out forgiveness, you give out favor, you give out kindness, you give out tolerance, and all that. So if one is not giving out anything during Christmas, like the 25th that just passed yesterday, the person is not celebrating Christmas by my judgment.
Okay, so how can we take this further? Because it seems as if some people just wait for special days like when we have Christmas to see that they give out, okay, that they do good, okay. How can we make this a lifestyle that's going forward from time to time, as long as you have the enablement, you have the capacity, the resources, you're able to give out? How can we imbibe that? Taking it away from just the Christmas to, our daily activities and seeing that we put smile on it.
As a matter of fact, this question reminds me that it is one of the defense that people raise, those that don't celebrate Christmas, they raise. Yes. They say, what is the point of creating a day? You talk about giving, while I have been giving since January and I'll keep giving it even after 25th. So for them, it doesn't make sense. So giving should actually be a lifestyle of every human being that is living. The reason is simple. I was with my friend, Apostle Zila Grace of Time, ago in the past, and we were at the government house, and he told us something. He was talking about common miracle. And I listened to see how he wants to talk about it. One of the things he said that is remarkable and memorable for me is that common miracle includes going to wee in the morning and you didn't see blood, you saw urine. I said, wow. So it makes so much sense to me. And it will also include, common miracle will also include waking up, you are still breathing air freely, air you are not paying for. And if you juxtapose that with what happens in the hospital where you pay for oxygen, you will now know that it is a general, that common there is actually general miracle. That's what he was trying to talk about. So for me, anybody that takes air freely, God gives you air, gives you, health, good health, divine healing, divine health. You are bound, duty bound, for me, to live a giving life, no matter how small, no matter the person involved, and no matter the situation. one should just make it a culture, cultivate the habit of giving, because we shouldn't also forget the fact that in Acts chapter 20 and verse 35, the Bible says it is more blessed, is more honorable, it is more rewarding. You know, we'll extend, we'll go on and expand that word. It is more blessed to give than to receive. So if we know that, since we want to grow, we want to progress, every human we want to develop, advance, you know, what we need to, simple logic tells us that we should give steadily so that we can grow steadily.
But the thing is, I remember talking with somebody earlier, and let's look at the challenges of giving. It is one thing to give, it's another thing to either not have even when you want to give, and then you give and face some people that don't appreciate. So let's look at how can some of the challenges of giving, and how can somebody like, me that have the heart of giving, people out there that have the heart of giving, and then are faced with the challenges of some of the people that don't appreciate. I talked with somebody earlier, and they said that the man said he's always helping, like some persons see him as a ritualist. Some of these challenges here.
All right, that's why we talk about making giving a habit. You know, a habit is beyond behavior. A habit is beyond even character. A habit is beyond a few other variables. Now, when you make something your habit, the issue of allowing external forces to hinder you from doing what you have made your habit is not easy to come by. It is only when giving is not a habit of somebody that these challenges, these obstacles will hinder the person or restrain the person from the people. Again, giving is naturally rewarding because of who is the embodiment of giving, God. Now, it's rewarding those who have the habit of giving. They know the reward of giving. That's why the rich gets richer, because the rich will keep giving. And you think they are fools? They are not fools. They are trying to get, following biblical principles, to become richer than you, remain on top. You keep pursuing them. As they are giving you, you are below. As they are giving you, you are behind.
So just a way of wrapping up your words to people out there, especially with what we've talked about, Joshua. And particularly, I like to add this, still in the spirit of the celebration, how can we, live in peace, with all men?
Fine. I want to tie it to what we said earlier. You know, when you, for instance, in this season of Christmas, and then we have an overflow into 26th, which is Boxing Day. When it is we couldn't finish on 25th, we continue on 26th. And because of being busy, like you said, you wouldn't want to, sit down to take stock of what came in and how you gave. Maybe there are a few other remaining, you want to do it, finish it off on 26th, fine. Now you see that those who give, sometimes you give to people that are not appreciative. You give to people that are suspicious.
Yeah.
They think that you want to give, and before 31st they will die, so that you will in January. So by the time you give and you see these reactions come from people, now one of the ways, like you hear the Bible say, try as much as you can to live it, if it is possible, live at peace with all men. One of the ways to live at peace with all men is to accommodate those reactions. Accommodate them. Don't react, or you can respond to those reactions. Give a smile, explain if you care.
Obviously, with the society we find ourselves, there's such occurrences are bound or things about to happen. But you shouldn't discourage you or relent, because let's say a few percentage of those people out there who you are sharing out your gifts, are those ones that are suspicious. But you have a lot. And even going away from those class of people, there are people that are very hungry, that no matter what you share, they will appreciate.
Thank you.
Checking the economy today, you know that a lot of people need lot of good things from us. So
Yeah.
thank you very much.
All right, that's a wrap for this segment. Want to thank Pastor Dr. Emmanuel Israel. Thank you so much for honoring us and for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, there will be more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A brand new sunrise is about to brighten your mornings. Wake up to Good Morning Port Harcourt, your fresh, vibrant and inspiring daily companion.
From the heart of the Garden City, we bring you stories that matter.
From politics to news headlines, sports, entertainment, lifestyle, and community happenings.
And all the information you need to start your day. It's all coming your way from Mondays to Fridays, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Whether you're at home, at work, or on the move, make it a routine.
Only on NTA Channel 10, Port Harcourt.
You don't just wake up with us. Good morning, Port Harcourt.
Well, if you are just joining us, the program is Good Morning Port Harcourt, and we'll be having lots of excitement here in the studio as we are celebrating Boxing Day. And good enough, today happens to be my birthday, so you see why I'm super excited. To move on to the next level, we have a specialist in the house, an eye specialist, so to say, in the person of Dr. Innocent Daniel, who here to sensitize us on the do's and don'ts this season. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Compliments of the season.
Thank you very much.
Happy Boxing Day!
It's a great day. It's a great day to us as Nigerians, and it's been, we have got to the end of the year.
Yeah.
But just few days we get into 2026. I know there are a lot of excitement and a lot of gathering, and based on the concept we have to discuss is mostly on the aftermath of all those excitement.
Yeah, like yesterday which happened to have been Christmas Day, I noticed that there are a lot of social gatherings everywhere, especially in confined spaces. And it got me wondering what people were really doing to stay safe. There was even an incident where a girl collapsed due to confined space, while lots of people around and all that. And then the season of what we popularly know as Apollo is here. And I hear a lot of myths about Apollo. How
Red eye,
you
red eye
you
is
have a red eye and everything. And then people get confused. People say it's not all kind of redness that comes to that causes Apollo. So let's know, as an expert in this field, how can we stay safe?
Yeah, of course, Apollo is already there, but this season actually enhanced the Apollo spread. Apollo is not actually a medical terms. The medical term is adenoviral conjunctivitis. Yes, that's the medical terms. So it happened because because of celebrating, handshake, exchanging of gifts, and touching surfaces, playing and all that. So most of the time during this season we touch the eye often.
Okay.
Because there is low humidity. The atmosphere is right. So the dust get to the eyes all the time. And we involuntarily react by touching the eye. So because of touching the eye, we introduce the viral infection to the eye. And the eye becomes infected. So ordinarily, not all infection, not all redness is Apollo.
Can you differentiate on that?
Of course, the Apollo redness is not just only redness. The symptom associated with Apollo is one, there is redness, of course. There will be sandy feeling, that's gritty feeling, light intolerance, and there will be tearing, swelling of the eyelid. These are the common sign and symptom of Apollo. We also have bacterial conjunctivitis. We have fungal conjunctivitis, and we have allergic conjunctivitis. All these cause red eye. We have acute angle glaucoma, also cause red eye. We have iritis or anterior uveitis, all cause red eye. But the difference is that
bacterial conjunctivitis, you see a mucopurulent discharge or yellowish discharge. This shows that this person is infected with bacteria. Then for someone who is infected with adenovirus conjunctivitis, one is it has contagious nature. It spread fast. So if somebody is infected in the family, the whole family it goes round within the week. But all the bacterial conjunctivitis is not all that contagious. Allergic conjunctivitis, of course, is due to allergy, dust, and all that. So that one is not it's not contagious at all. But comparing the rate of contagiousness of bacteria and viral is fast. It's like a wildfire spreading. So that's why we link during the first outbreak took place in 1967 in California. So this were new army recruits that had the outbreak, that had infection. Just one person, but it spread around all the recruits. That was the first outbreak of allergic conjunctivitis. And why it was called Apollo, it was because there was what they call NASA Apollo program. That period, NASA Apollo program, by NASA Apollo flight program. So the outbreak happened within that period of that NASA Apollo program. So they have to link it to Apollo. You see? And there's a post-flight infection. One of the astronauts got infected after invading the moon. He returned back. He discovered that his eye is infected, and it was discovered that it's adenovirus. That is a adenovirus conjunctivitis. That was the first Apollo infection, but that wasn't an outbreak. But the first outbreak took place in 1967. So within this time, between this NASA Apollo program, that is 1961 to 1972. This period is the era that the outbreak took place, so they now call it Apollo. So it wasn't like it's a medical name. The medical name is adenoviral conjunctivitis. Adeno simply means that it was gotten from adenoid tissue. It was first discovered in adenoid tissue, which the respiratory tract, the tissue found at the respiratory tract. So based on that, they now name it adenovirus.
Okay, these are adenovirus conjunctivitis, aka Apollo.
Yeah.
It's really discomforting.
Yeah.
How can it be treated or managed?
Yeah, it's actually self-limiting. That means that it gets over by itself. After 3 weeks, the lifespan of the virus is just 3 weeks. So without applying anything, it will die off after 3 weeks. But the people tend to complicate it by putting a lot of things, due to the spirit of festivity. Imagine your eye is red and you want to wear a good shirt, you want to go and greet your loved ones. So you do everything possible to get off the redness and the Apollo and the rest of it. So that prompts people to put a lot of things, sugar solution, salt solution, urine solution, battery solution, every kind of thing into the eyes, and that will result to complications like anterior staphylomas, corneal opacity, corneal ulcer, and all that.
I want to come in there. Back in the days, during our mother, father times, back in the days, we know of breast milk.
Yeah.
They put it. And when they put this thing, it works somehow. Urine, when you put it, it works somehow. So medically speaking, let's know, is it something that is doable, or we're just imagining things?
Okay, yeah. The eye itself is a culture. Now, what I mean by culture, when you go to a lab, they will take sample from you and culturize it. They want it to grow. They want to grow, and they will use microscope and see it, magnify it, and all that. This is to discover the type of infection the person is having. Is it viral? Is it fungal? Is it bacteria? That is the essence of the reason of taking a sample and culturize it. They say, go, let's come. They are trying to study it. So likewise, the eye has tear film. So when somebody puts breast milk, the eye is already infected. For example, the eye is infected with bacteria, and if the eye is infected with bacteria, you added breast milk. Breast milk is actually food. So you are giving the microorganism in the eye to grow. You are cauterizing the eye.
Really?
Because the microorganism is already there. So you are not adding breast milk. So you are creating an enabling environment for the microorganism to grow. So what happened in those areas is simply because bacteria have a lifespan. Virus has a lifespan. So it will definitely disappear on its own. So it's not because of the breast milk that clear up the eye. Yeah, all the
What is a mind game?
Yeah.
So that was doing it was just working.
Yes, so it is because of the lifespan. So it's not because the breast milk was added. The breast milk would even complicate it because the microorganism will grow because they are giving the microorganism more food to grow by adding breast milk.
Okay, so Doc, now let's talk about what can we do, speaking about this Apollo, AA Apollo and all that. How can we, manage ourselves within this period, even beyond this period? I think it behoves on us to be self-aware. That's what we're doing now. The next thing is to take preventive measures. What are those necessary preventive measures that we can?
Yeah, hygiene is the key. I want to talk about hygiene. We're talking about regular hand washing. We must wash our hands regularly. We must try our best to
When during the COVID era, that's us. We were all, in tune with washing our hands regularly. But with the fade of the COVID, we've gone back to our normal culture where we relax. People stay all through without even, trying to wash their hands.
And I remember during the COVID era, people rarely even shake hands. We used to have this kind of back, what they say, thumbs up and all that.
I think the COVID era is actually an eye-opener. And so I think we should continually practice that, not just because the COVID is over. COVID is actually a virus. So when we talk about preventive measures, we are talking about hygiene, hand washing regularly, ensuring we have this hand sanitizer, to sanitize our hand in the offices. We need to keep hand sanitizer as a strategic point. After touching the table, you sanitize your hand. After whatever you do, you sanitize your hand. After all the love, sharing of food, sharing of items, you have to wash your hands. Alternatively, you need to use hand sanitizer. And then for those of us who might be having maybe tearing and all that, we should not be tempted to touch our eye. So you can use this disposable tissue paper, clean your eye and dispose it. Don't use handkerchief to rub the eye. Handkerchief that you have been it's dangerous to use it to clean the eye. So it's best to get a tissue that you can use and clean and dispose. Anything that you can easily dispose. So these are on the hygiene. Then we have to do our best to avoid crowded area. You must be conscious of crowd area. And then we must also try our best to ensure that dust particles do not get to our eyes. So we should wear protective eye protections, eye safety. As you are going up for outing, get an eye wear that you can use to protect your eye from direct dust from getting direct to your eyes. Because when your eye gets in touch to all this, you will be tempted to rub. Like remember what I said, that this virus is there at all seasons. But it becomes prominent in this dry season because of our lifestyle. Because of our lifestyle, we touch the eye more during dry season. That is my 1 point. 2, the virus survives more in a low humidity. So the atmosphere is very less moisturized. So this virus survives more. So these are the two
You also mentioned, Doc, that it's not all forms of redness this season is associated with Apollo.
Yeah.
So we don't be misguided. So it's important that we try as much as possible to reach out to necessary experts to identify what is really happening to our eyes.
Yeah.
So self-medication is not...
It's actually a
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So we've been having nothing to say for
I just know that you'll come some other time.
Yeah, sure. I will regularly come.
Okay, so thank you very much. I will be interacting with Dr. Daniel Innocent, an expert on the eyes. And of course, I've been able to, consume and benefit a lot from his sensitization. Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming around.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
A brand new sunrise is about to brighten your mornings. Wake up to Good Morning Port Harcourt, your fresh, vibrant and inspiring daily companion.
From the heart of the Garden City, we bring you stories that matter.
From politics to news headlines, sports, entertainment, lifestyle, and community happenings.
And all the information you need to start your day. It's all coming your way from Mondays to Fridays, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Whether you're at home, at work, or on the move, make it a routine.
Only on NTA Channel 10. Port Harcourt.
So don't just wake up. Wake up with us. Good morning, Port Harcourt.
Wow. A lot has been said about
About
the
the
eye.
eye,
I will try not to be touching my eyes.
Yeah, but I think one thing we need to I took away from this is the fact that we need to go back to the culture of hand sanitizing and washing.
Very
Washing
important.
hands,
You know, I go home, I don't do anything once I get home without washing my hands. Okay? So in between, sometimes I might forget, being carried away with the kind of work we do. And we touch a lot of subjects, opening of doors, entering, and all of that. So it's just normal that we must be conscious of washing our hands because this is where we pick all the dirt and the virus, the bacteria, and we put it in our mouth, put it in our eye, we even put it in our ears. I think we should just be conscious and learn how to, teach our kids how to, have their hands, wash. And if possible, let's go back to the carrying sanitizers. Everywhere, I was offering my own sanitizer. We're so careless about it and all that. I mean, it should be our culture where we, introduce this to family members and ensure that we keep up with it. That's not how it is.
And then we want to talk about Boxing Day. That's it. I've received mine, but you can keep the boxes rolling, right? Yeah, keep the boxes rolling. We're still in the spirit of Christmas.
Okay, so we are not going to wrap up without saying this. Still in the spirit of Christmas, the NTA Port Harcourt has a special package for everyone. I'm so happy this is happening even on my birthday. I'm talking about the birthday ball. Happening live today at the NTA Entertainment Grounds. So we are all invited. Don't miss out. So we're going to have lots of drinks, fun, dances, and you name it.
If everybody, the NCA birthday balls and carnival is the bomb. Of me, it's the coolest party in town. If you miss it, you miss out. And it's going down today by 12 noon. Okay, all roads lead to NCA Gardens where it's happening. So if you've not got your ticket already, never mind. Just when you get to the gate, you get your ticket. Lots of games, lots, to play, to drink, to eat, and be excited. The tickets for adults, 2,000 naira, and for children is 1,000 naira. If you miss it, you miss out.
Everybody, the mommies, the daddies, the aunties, uncle, bring the whole family. Everybody's going to have fun, I tell you. Well, it's going to be so fun. Just come and relax and enjoy. On this note, we call it a wrap on Good Morning Port Harcourt. Join us tomorrow for another bumper time on the program. My name is Raina Kennedy.
And I remain Francis Nsan, the celebrant.
The picture boy. And blessed thank you for sharing this time with you. Let's meet again tomorrow, bright and early.